thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. Okay, you need to go to the website and you need to log in to the website. You need to select your subject. Okay, this is a maths class, so you select math as your subject. This is grade 2. Once you're done with math, you select grade 2. Okay, and the topic for today is properties. Okay, this is your topic, and the chapter number is chapter number 18. Okay, and the chapter number is 18, and the lesson number is 4. The name of the lesson is addition, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and the last one is division terms. Okay, so we would be looking at addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so for those who just joined, you go to grade 2. Okay, chapter number 18 is properties and lesson number 4. Okay, so we all are connected to this. Before doing this, I will give you a brief review of what basically properties we will be looking at and what are the specific terms used, right? So I'll give you the examples. If I would say it is an addition equation, right? If we need to do addition, let's see what are the names given over here. So if I would say, if I would add 25 is added to 11, okay, we know that how we can add these numbers together, right? We can simply add these numbers, but what we are looking at is what are the names given to these values. Okay, we are looking at the names. The answer is, we know that the answer would be 36. 5 plus 1 is 6 and 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So what we call these things, 25 is known as the addend, addend, addend. The numbers those are being added together are called addend. Okay, and the answer when we add numbers is known as the sum. Agreed? This we know, right? Let's look at subtraction equation and its properties. Okay, so subtraction equation would mean if two numbers are being subtracted from the larger number, that is 25, if we subtract the same number, let's suppose if we subtract an 11, okay, we know that we are left with, what are we left with? 5 minus 1 is 4 and 2 minus 1 was 1, right? Let's look at the names. What is the bigger number? That is 25, right? 25 is known as MINUEND, minuend. Okay, what is being subtracted? Subtracted, right? We go from subtrahend. This is called subtrahend, and the final answer is always the difference. Okay, agreed? Do we agree on this? Okay, thank you. Let's put this up in a box so that we have it for our reference. Okay, this was addition, subtraction. We are just looking at the rules right now. Okay, What are the names given when we are doing addition? What are the names given we are doing subtraction? Okay. So these are the rules we have. Now let's look at multiplication equation. If we have multiplication equation, what will happen? What are the names, right? If I would say, if we need to multiply 3 is multiplied by 5, we know that 3 multiplied by 5 will come out to be 15, right? 3 times 5 is 15, right? So the names given to these values are, this is a factor, okay? When two factors are multiplied, FACTOR, okay, we find the product. So whenever we hear the term product, that will mean it's the multiplication of two numbers, okay? And let's look at the division, okay? So when we look at the division equation, the division equation, division equation or the division properties, when we are dividing two numbers, it means if I would say 12 is divided by 4, 12 when divided by 4 should be equals to the answer, right? That would be 3. So let's label them over here, okay? Whatever is div being divided, this is known as dividend, okay? What is dividing is known as divisor, okay? Agreed? And the answer is known as quotient, QUOTIENT. So what we need to remember is these names, okay? So whenever you will hear a quotient, you will remember that a quotient is a number that we get as the answer when a number is divided by a divisor, right? So we'll need to remember this. Hi, welcome to the class. So we are doing the fact and the properties for addition. The names that we need to remember are two numbers added together are addends. Okay, added together. The answer is known as the sum. The number, the bigger number, that is subtracting the smaller number, right? The bigger number would be minuend, the smaller number is subtrahend, and this is the difference. For us, important is sum, difference, product, and the quotient, right? Or the divisor. Moving here, this would be product of two numbers, right? And division, this is the divisor, and this is the answer. And dividend is the number that is being divided. I will recall these names when the questions are there, okay? So keeping in mind these properties, let's look at what the first question is there, right? Okay. The first question says we need to identify, okay? Keeping this in mind, let's start off with question number 1. And the question number 1 says, in this problem, what is 2? In this question, what is the value of 2 being represented by, right? They're asking about this 2. So whenever we know this is a subtraction, right? So whenever we are doing the subtraction, the answer, this is 31 minus 29 is equals to 2. And the name of this 2 is, what is this 2 called? 2 is basically the difference of the two numbers. So can we say 2 is the difference right? Because we were doing subtraction. Do we agree on this? Yes. Thank you, May. That is the difference, right? So we are looking at sum, difference, product, quotient, these basic words, right? So let's see. Let's go through the questions again. For the next question we have, it says, in this problem, what is 5? Okay, let me just copy this for you. So the next question says, okay, I'll move ahead. I need to move the screen. So the next question is, in this problem, what is 5? Okay, we need to find what is 5. I'll enlarge this question for you. Okay, this is question number 2. Sorry, this is question number 2. Okay, what is 5? See, we can see that we are doing addition over here, right? So whenever two numbers are added, we get the, what do we get? We get the sum. That means when two numbers are added, then we get the sum. But what they are asking us is, what does this 5 represent? What is the name of this 5, right? So we can see over here that is the two numbers that are added together are known as 5 is an addend. Okay, and 35 is also an addend, right? They both are addends because they are being added together. So can I say that 5 is an, because it's a vowel, ADDEND. An addend means a number that is being added. Okay, do we? Yes, thank you, May. 2 is the difference. Yeah, and 5 is an addend. Okay, thank you so much. Moving ahead to the next question. Okay, let's see what they're asking us in the next question. What is the value of 5? In question number 3, let's do question number 3 over here. And let's see what they're asking us. Okay, this is the question given to us. And they are doing subtraction. The question is doing subtraction, and the question is asking us, what is the value of this 5? Right? The larger number. No. See, what we are doing in this topic is, we are not trying to find the sum. We are trying to tell, yes, 1 minute, please. What we are trying to tell over here is, what are the names? If we were looking at 2 over here, right? If we had 2 in the first question, this 2 represents the difference, right? We're just naming these values. The 5 over here represents the addend, right? So in this case, they are asking us, what does this 5 represent? Let's go back to the working, okay? In subtraction, this 5 was the bigger number, right? Because the question said 5 minus 2. 5 is the larger number. Then 5 would be the, what should be the name of 5? The 5 should be the minuend, because 5 is the bigger number out of those two numbers, right? Then we can say 5 is the minuend. No, 5 is not added. Okay, 5 is, when we are doing subtraction, the larger number is known as minuend, right? I showed you an example over here. We can see through these values. We know that the larger number in subtraction is known as a minuend, and the smaller number is known as subtrahend, and they will have a difference. Agreed? So we need to keep these in our mind. We need to remember these names. Okay, let's do more questions, and we will keep coming back to this. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll just make a box over here so that we can differentiate. Okay. For question number 4, do we agree on this? Yes. Thank you, May. It's called a minuend. And for the next question we have is, okay, very similar to what we already did in this problem. What is 8? So this question gives us a subtraction. Can you tell me what is an 8? I'll just copy this. I'll enlarge this so that it's more visible. And can we say what is an 8 in this question? What does 8 represent in question number 4? Can we refer to question number 3? 8 is the number at the same position, right? When we were doing subtraction, 8 is the larger number, right? So in this case also we can say 8 is the minuend. Okay, agreed? Because it's still the larger number of the two. It is the number from which we are subtracting from. Okay, so the larger number in subtraction is known as a minuend. Okay, so let's mark it over here. Moving on ahead, let's look at the next question. That is question number 5. We'll recall these cases and we will try our level best to remember them, right? Okay. In the next question, it says, in question number 5, it says, what is 38? Okay, I'll just maximize this. Okay. So the question says, in this question, what is 38? Can you help me out? What is 38? Can I write this statement as this? Can I write this as 78 minus a 40 would always be equals to 38, right? So what does this 38 represent? What is 38 called? Yes, 38 is the difference of these two numbers, right? The difference between 78 and 40. So we can say 38 is the difference. So if anyone would ask about find the difference, we give them the answer. That is the difference of the two numbers. Okay, do we agree on this? I know learning the names are a bit difficult. We'll do multiple questions and we'll try to find the answers, right? We'll try to find a way, because see, like question number 3 and question number 4 were a repetition, right? Similar cases. So we will try to do similar cases in which we will remember, we'll try our level best to remember the names, okay? So moving ahead to the next question, the question number 6, I'll just copy the next question. You still have the same question on your screen, right? If you're logged in. Okay. The next question says, I'll just rearrange this. Okay, it says 58. What is 86? In question number 6, they are asking us, what is 86? When two numbers are added, right? They have, what is the result of the two numbers called? The result of the two numbers is called, when two addends are added together, the result is known as, it is known as the sum, right? So in this case, they're asking us, what does this 86 represents? So can we write this as 58 plus 28 must be equal to 56. And 56 is the, what is 56 known as? Is it the difference or is it the sum? When we add numbers together, the answer is always the sum. So we can say 56 is the sum. So if I am saying 56 is the sum, that means numbers are being added together and the answer is 56. Okay. Sum means that the answer of addition is 56 in this case. Okay. Do we agree? Yes, thank you. Let's move ahead. Let's move on to the next question and let's see in the next question what they're asking us is. I'll just copy the next question. Okay. The next question, the question number 7 says, keeping in mind the names. Okay, I'll just enlarge this. Let's write it in this manner. And they are saying what is represented by 28 in question number 7. So if we say 53 minus 25, we are left with 28, right? So what is the name of this 28? Let's look at the example. Let's look at the subtraction, right? When we look at subtraction, can we say 25 was a larger number minus 11 was a smaller number, right? That means in this case, 53 should be minuend, right? 25 should be subtrahend, and 28 should be the difference, right? And what are they asking us to look at? They are asking us for the number 28. So can we say that 28 is the difference of the two numbers? Do we agree? Yes, thank you so much, May. 28 is the difference. Moving to the next question. See, it's very difficult to remember the names. Only with the practice you'll remember, right? And we are doing some questions over here. So I would expect everyone to answer, right? Even if it's incorrect, it doesn't make any difference because we are here to learn. Okay? We would learn together, right? So don't worry about incorrect answers. Okay, let's have this. And they're asking us, what is 19 representing in question number 8? Okay, so the question says, what is being represented by 19? So whenever this 19 we need to look at, right? Let's go up. Let's look at the addition. The two numbers that are added together are known as addends, right? And the answer would be sum. So in this case, this should be addend. This should also be addend, right? And finally, 48 should be the sum. What are they asking us about? They want us to know, to tell about 19. So what is 19? Yes, thank you, May. So we can write that 19 is an addend, right? Agreed? Moving on to the next question, that is question number 9. Sorry, sorry. So the question number 9 would tell us, okay, let's paste this, sorry, I'll just redo it. This is our question number 9. Apologies. Okay, let's maximize this. Let's maximize this so that it's readable. What they're asking us in this question, what is represented by 23? And this is question number 9. So we need to tell what 23 is representing. 23. Can anyone help me out with this? See, we'll look at subtraction, okay? So when we were doing subtraction, we can say the larger number is known as, the larger number was known as minuend, right? And the smaller number that was being subtracted was known as subtrahend. And the answer was known as the difference. Agreed? So we need to look at the question, what they are asking us exactly. They're asking us about 23. So the 23 should be, yes, thank you, May. So we can say 23 is the minuend. Agreed? Thank you for the answer. Thank you for responding. Moving ahead, let's look at the next question. Question number 10. And the question number 10 says, in this problem, what is 47? I'll just copy the question on the screen and we'll have a better idea of what exactly they're asking us in the question. Okay, if this is the question given to us, this is given to us, what is 47? Right? I will not give the answer to this because it is already on the screen. We can see the answer on the screen already. So what is 47 representing? See, question number 9 was subtraction, but question number 8 that's already on the screen was an addition, right? Question number 8 was addition. Question number 10 is addition. So what is 47 representing? We can say that 54 represents the sum, that is the addition of two numbers, right? And whenever we are adding two numbers, those two numbers are known as, yes, they are known as addends, okay? Addend number 1 and the addend number 2. So our requirement was 47, right? We were looking at 47. So can we say 47 is the addend? That means 47 is one of the numbers that are being added together. Do we agree? Okay, thank you. Thank you, May. Moving ahead with the next question. The next question is asking us, okay, very similar. Okay, so the next question that is asked, in this case, in the question number 10, they were asking about the first number, right? In question number 11, they're asking about the second number. What is the second number that is being added? So if I would paste this, let's enlarge this. If this was the question given to us, they're asking us what is represented by 25. This is question number 11. So we know that when two numbers are added together, they will have a sum. And the numbers that are added together are known as either of them will have the same name, right? They will be addends, right? So we can also say that 25 is an addend because we were looking for 25. So can we say 25 is an addend, right? And 20 will also be an addend because both the numbers that are being added together are called addends. Okay, they could be 3 numbers added together, they could be 10 numbers added together. All the numbers that are being added together will be called addends. Okay, moving to the next question. Okay, just a minute please, I'll just copy the question on the screen. Okay, this is a new now, so we would need to recall. Okay, so okay, it's over here, it's already on the screen, so I'll just keep it on the screen with question number 9. We need to refer to question number 9, and the question says what is represented by 77? Oh sorry, 17, my bad. What is represented by 17? This is question number 12. So if we look at the previous question, that is question number 9, minuend, subtrahend, and the difference, right? So can we label the same in question number 12? Minuend was the larger number from which the subtraction was done. Or we can say this is the difference. This is the difference of the two numbers, right? The larger number was minuend, right? It's called a minuend, right? What about what is being subtracted? We were looking at 17. We have to find what 17 is known as. So 17 is being subtracted, right? So this would be known as subtrahend. So the number that is being subtracted, whatever is being subtracted is known as subtrahend. So can we say 17 is a subtrahend? Do we agree on this? Are there any questions? Okay. Thank you. Moving ahead to the next question. Let's see what are we being asked. In question number 13, let's see. Okay. They are saying in this problem, what is 16? If the given question states that this is the given question, and we need to find what 16 is representing. What is 16 known as? See, we can see this is subtraction over here, right? We can say this is subtraction. So in case of subtraction, we will have two numbers. When the larger number minus the smaller number. Yes, thank you, May. Okay. So in subtraction, when the larger number, that is the minuend, right? We are just referring to the previous question. Let's refer to question number 12, right? It's exactly the same because they both have a subtraction, right? So we need to find what 16 means over here. 98 was a bigger number, that was a minuend. 82 was the smaller number that was being subtracted, that would be subtrahend. The difference of the two numbers, oh sorry, I gave the answer, my bad. When we have two numbers and we are subtracting, then the answer will represent the difference, right? So can we say 16 is the difference? Okay. So 16 would be the difference of these two numbers because they are specifically asking us what is 16 representing. Okay. What is being represented by 16? Okay. Moving ahead with the next question. The next question says, what is 41? Okay. In this question, and let's look at this question, keeping in mind, sorry, if we take this into consideration, let's enlarge, let's place it in, let's enlarge this so that we have a reference. What is 41? The first thing we need to look at is if it's addition, if it's subtraction, what is happening over here? We are doing a subtraction, right? And we need to find what is 41 representing. So 41 will represent what? Yes, it will represent the larger number in subtraction is known as minuend, right? So we can say 41 is the minuend, right? That means what we are subtracting from, that will be 41. Moving ahead with the next question. Okay. If I am going too fast, please let me know, right? I would slow down. I'm just taking my time. If it's still too fast, let me know. Okay. So the next question we have is, they're asking what is represented by 48. And let's just copy this over here. Let's enlarge. Okay. The question number 15, in this case, is it still subtraction? Yes, it is still subtraction. This can be written as 48 minus 4, and the answer comes out to be 44. They are asking us what is the name of 48. What is the name of 48? What is 48 known as? When we are subtracting, the larger number is always known as, just refer to question number 14. If you would refer to question number 14, you'll find the answer, right? We just did the same question. So this is exactly the same as this, right? So this is also known as minuend, right? So we can say 48 is the, yes, thank you, May. 48 is the minuend in this case, right? Because we are not looking at the subtrahend. Why? Because this will be subtrahend and this is the difference. So we'll need to look at what is our requirement. Our requirement was just the larger number. So we say 48 is the 48. Sorry, I'll just write 48 again. That means 48 is the minuend in this case. Okay. So let's go to the test. Let's do some questions from the test and I would wait for you to answer. Take your time. Let's start a few questions from the test. Let's do it together. Okay, let's start the test. The first question, sorry, 1 minute, please. Okay, it's logged. Okay, just a minute, please. I'll just go. I have to click on something. This is properties and this is 4. It just clicked me out, right? So I'm just logged in again. That's not a problem. Okay, the first question we have, it says in this problem, what is 25? Okay, Let's look at what is 25. This is the first question from the test. I'll give a heading over here for the test so that we know these are the questions from the test. This is question number 1. What they are asking us, what is this 25 representing? Is it option A or option B? We know that when two numbers are added together, we can find the sum, right? In addition of two numbers, we have the sum, but we do not have to find what 45 is representing, right? Sorry, we have to find what 25 is representing, right? Yes, may that is addend, okay? This would be an addend, and this is also an addend, right? When two numbers are added, they are known as addends, and that means option number A is the answer, right? So can we click on to option number A? Yes, we click on to option number A, and that's a correct answer. For the next question, they're saying, what does 28 represent? Okay, I'll just put it over here. I'll change the size. And they're saying in question number 2, what is being represented by 28? This 28. The first thing we need to see is this is a minus sign, right? So the minus sign means it cannot be an addend, right? So if it cannot be an addend, then it cannot be the sum, because sum is only an addition, right? So 28 is the option A or option B? Can I say 28 is the sum of 53 minus 25? Is it the sum? Or can I say 53 minus 25 is equals to 28, and 28 is the difference of the two numbers? Yes, thank you, May. It is the difference of these two numbers, right? We click onto the difference, it will show us that it's correct, okay? Okay, for the next question, they're telling us, okay, what is 40 represented by 41? I'll just copy this. This is question number 3 from the test. What is represented by 41? And 41 is over here. Okay, I'll just rewrite this. 41. This is 41 minus 28. This is again a subtraction. So can we say that in subtraction, can we have a sum? Yes. Can we have a sum in subtraction? Sum means, sum refers to addition, right? Sum cannot be an answer. Yes. So this is a minuend. Thank you. Okay. 41 represents the minuend value, right? Moving ahead. Only 16 questions. We are done with 3 already. Few questions will be left. Please do complete the remaining questions once you get done with the class. Okay. And let's pick this up. Let's enlarge this. Let's see what happens to this. For question number 4 of the test, it says we have 2 options. And what do we need to look at? We need to look at 5. So what is 5? Is it the sum or is it the addend? Sum is always the total, right? Sum will be the total. So can we say that 5 represents the total? We cannot say that, right? This is the total, right? When we are adding, sorry, this is total. That means when we are adding two numbers, the total will be known as the sum. But we do not have to look at the total. What we have to look at is 5. Yes. Thank you. 5 represents the addend, okay? So we just click on the addend and it will tell us, yes, it's correct. You are left with around 10 more questions, okay, for this topic. Please do complete those questions. If you have any problems, any queries, just go through this video lesson again and you'll find the answers. Right? Thank you so much for responding. Thank you so much for being here. Have a nice day. Take care.